Well, hello guys. Today I am visiting electric bus depot in Budapest. And apparently they have a bunch of classic buses which they brought out for this open day. So we start with an Icarus 55. Icarus was a Hungarian brand which they sold around the world. This one is, I think it looks nicer than my Greyhound buses, the PD 4104 what I have. But it's not as advanced in technology. Doesn't have as much of an advanced technology as the old GMC bus has. It doesn't have air springs and other stuff. But we just used to ride on these. This is a highway bus, and the engine is in the back, just like on the GMC. I think it looks better. Doesn't work as well, but looks better for sure. This one belonged to the Hungarian Airlines. Malev. It's not existing anymore. But it looks great. I was thinking of buying one and bringing it to the US, but it's not a nice thing to take it out from Hungary. Look at this sign, nice big aluminum sign. The driver has a door up the front, and that's what it looks inside. I think I need to buy some seats for my GMC bus too. Let's go up into this Icarus 55. Looks like we got a really young driver. Got a vintage radio. And then this instrument panel looks very old compared to mine. Uh-oh, little guy stuck in between the handbrake and the shifter lever. Looks like it's got an RPM gauge and other instruments. This is super exciting to me because I keep hearing from my friends in Hungary that this bus looks nicer than mine. If you look at the shape, and when I was very young I traveled on these, I still remember it. On the floor there was wood panels. I don't know why this one doesn't have one. Maybe it's because it's not a city bus. It's got this panoramic windows up there, which has a really clever cover on it because it gets really hot really fast. And then if you look at it, that's quite a large bus. I still like to have a bus that has seats in it and not converted to an RV. There's an older version. It came from the Transportation Museum, it says on the side. And I guess actually we can get on this one. There's a lot of these. You can see, you was able to see a lot of these in the 60s in Budapest. It says actually 1971, that's odd. Huh. 36 people can sit on it. It says it's from 61 to 72. I look kind of outdated in the 70s, but you can put some luggage to the roof as well. There's like a ladder you can climb up on. Volán was the Hungarian transportation company. It's quite a large step to come up here. You can see the engine is in the middle. Looks like a coffin. And there is the driver's seats and all kind of other parts. And on the back they said don't go to the back, but that's okay. It looks pretty retro. This next one was a very common sight on the Hungarian streets, even up unto the 90s. It's also an Icarus. It's called the 256. It's a very 1980s paint job. Ooh, have you guys ever seen a convertible bus? That looks awesome, at least to me. There's a long line to get in it. There's also an Icarus. They used it to take people around the city for city tours. And then someone bought it and restored it. Yeah, I think they still do some sightseeing drives, but it sucks when it rains. It's round all around. Yeah, this is a Russian-built trolley bus, and they called it the number 70 because Stalin's 70th birthday. That's the time when they actually started using this bus. And of course it's electric. It takes the electricity from overhead. There's a huge Russian star on it on the front. You can see it. You get those windshields in the back, in the front. I think there's a sign missing from the very front, but there's another pretty cool looking sign. Crazy. Welcome to communism, guys. Yeah, I never traveled on one of these. These are way before my time. I guess they found a really nicely used up one and they fixed it up. Let's go inside and see how it looks like. It's got wooden floors. And a very basic driver's compartment. I guess little kids can get in and try to drive it. There's like 2 big amp gauge in it. This next one is a real oddity. It's got an unpowered trailer car. Like it's just being pulled behind the bus. It was really hard to dock at the bus stop, but they were running for a long time. It's actually got a suicide door on the front. It's called the Icarus 60, and they made it between 1952 and 67, the sign says. I'm not that smart to know this, but it looks pretty awesome. It would make a hell of a party bus for sure. Maybe we can get on it. Nope, we cannot. We can look inside. And it says N1. I don't know what that means. And then it looks like it's got air brakes. And that's how they connected to it. It's like just another normal bus behind it, just getting pulled. And then later on they came up with the extensions where you can just connect the two things with one of those harmonicas. These buses were used between 52 and 76. And this one is also powered by electricity, what came from these overhead wires. And look at these nice wooden floors as we get in. Here's the driver's compartment. It's totally isolated from everyone. Looks like it's missing parts, but I guess it's an ongoing thing. It's not exactly any large by any means, but there is an extension on the back, like a trailer set to it. It says be careful because it's got air brakes. Even the rear one has air brakes, the extension. It says don't get off if the warning bell is ringing. And there's no driver's compartment in this one. This next one is what I grew up with. So when I was going about in Budapest in the 1980s and stuff, I seen these ones every day. And this one is also a Hungarian-made bus, I believe. Yeah, this one is an Icarus, I think. No, it's actually just the wheels were Hungarian, or the axles. This is a Russian bus. Yeah, this one was a Russian bus, looks like. It's got also an isolated compartment. The next one is an Icarus. It's a Hungarian bus. The reason why it's yellow and not red because it was a trial. Basically, the local transportation authority wanted to have buses which were powered by electricity from overhead, but Icarus, the Hungarian manufacturer, were not willing to make one, so they actually converted one of these diesel-powered buses into this electric bus. So that was a trial, basically, to have a locally manufactured electric bus for the Budapest Transportation Authority. Now, these ones I remember, I grew up sitting on these. I remember standing in the back and it was like the suspension was really seriously not all that good, so they were flying in the back when this one was going. And here's a nice little ticket validator. So you pushed your ticket in and you pulled it down and then it punched a hole on it, so when some revisor guy came up and then he looked at your ticket. He was checking if you actually validated your ticket just right, and was it from this bus or not. Let's go look inside the front. Kids are really liking this place. Interestingly, for the driver's seat, they had to make a little bump here, if you see that here, because the seat was going up and down. And look at this gigantic switch here. Looks like a Frankenstein switch, I guess, to take the power away if there's an emergency, I assume. Now we're getting into the 80s, and these buses were actually introduced in the US. I think it's in the early 70s, and they were just a little bit wider, and they were sold in the American market. I think they were been into San Francisco and other places. One actually made it all the way to the White House when they were trying to do a sales pitch, but that's the first time when in the US they had these extended buses here. If you can see this part here, it's all very normal nowadays, but at that time it wasn't. And the rear wheel was actually steerable. It was steered by itself. It wasn't steered by a steering wheel. It actually just followed the whole bus as it was going. This bus has the older doors. They look like a harmonica. And it's pretty long. And if you look inside, this is where you lose your stuff. If something falls down there, you never get it back. But you can sit here, move forward. And again, this one is an electrically powered bus, but they also had diesel powered buses. This is the front. People are lining up to sit in it and take pictures. And this is what they look like inside. That's how you open the doors, with those red and green push buttons. There are tons of transportation history in this building where we're gonna go next. If you look inside, look at these colors. Green floor, gray sides, just like in a World War II bunker. Doesn't make you feel any good, but this is where the repair facility is. There's a whole bunch of buses lined up, so people who's coming, they can view it. And there's some helpers and the important people here to watch over for everyone. These are newer buses, but we're gonna see something more interesting as we going more to the back. But these buildings were built in the 50s, and they serve the same purpose ever since then. There's some workshop. This is also a new bus. And then if you look at here, there's all kind of machinery here, what they can use to repair these things. I think this is the way I'm supposed to collect buses, not the real ones. I got 2 of them so far. I don't know if you guys are realizing, but there is such a demographic as bus collectors. These ones are models, but some of us actually collecting the real things. There are some more displays. I was thinking of buying one of these jacks. What do you guys think? This would lift up my buses too. But then I need to have some jack stands. And these are serious jack stands. So yeah, we're talking serious money. So I don't think so. But this looks pretty cool that you actually just pull up to the side of the bus, put it under the tires, and then just lift it up. Here's a diesel engine what they just pulled out from this Icarus bus. It's actually made by Raba company. Raba is a river in Hungary. Looks like it's got a turbocharger on the side, a real nice big compressor, and looks like it's all cut into pieces. Very interesting. So you can see it. There's a fuel pump. And Daddy's teaching the little kiddo how it works. So those of you who haven't seen a turbocharger, this is what it looks like. Here comes the exhaust gas out, and it's spinning this wheel, and it compresses the air, and the compressed air goes inside. This is why it's important, if you have a turbocharged vehicle, to let it cool down, because it's this shaft. If you see in the middle, this shaft needs lubrication and cooling. So you can see it's coming here, one of them, and here's another one going back. So if you just shut it off, if you shut off your engine while it's still running, and just arrived and you're not letting it cool down, this whole housing is still hot and it doesn't have any chance to cool down. So the shaft will have little burnt down oil particles. The next time you start it up, this sliding bearing will get crunched up. Looks like here's the transmission in the back. I'm not familiar with this, but it looks like it's an automatic transmission. There are the solenoid valves there. And there's the engine compartment on this bus. Very interesting. There's a suspension working station where you can use a power tool if you wish. You can see the air springs there. That looks very different than my GMC bus. There's another diesel engine just getting pulled out. Looks like it's got a gigantic automatic transmission on it. It's very compact. It's like a modern engine to me. Dual alternators, air conditioning compressor up there. If you're a bus mechanic, this is what you do. Yeah, this is a very modern bus. It's got a very nice lift as well. And then you can buy books. And there's some electric motor from out of these electric buses. Yeah, it's a good size. And there's a switching board. You can look at the switching board as the bus is going forward. There's tons of relays and everything. Can you imagine that electrical nightmare when you have to troubleshoot and see which one is clicking, which one is not, which one is connected, and which one is not? These are some actuators on it. Now we actually can go under the bus. I would need one of these pits. Yeah, it's so dark, can't see anything. But there is the engine in the back, then followed by the transmission. There are the brake cylinders, and it's totally can't see nothing here. Oh well. We're able to go under this bus, see the engine, the coolant, other stuff. I guess it's easy to repair it this way. Then they have some newer versions of the same buses, which I'm not too interested in. You can see those every day if you visit Budapest. Well, this is great that they open up this, sort of looks like a factory, but it's like a big bus garage. They bring out their old buses and then people bring their kids and then everybody can meet and greet. So thank you for watching this and see you guys next time with something else. Bye.